A good Thursday morning to you. Shemai Cook here. Welcome to BHS News with Shemai Cook. Connecticut's daily COVID-19 test positivity rate was 4.76 on Wednesday, according to Governor Ned Lamont. That is down from Tuesday's rate of 6.7%, but it's still higher than the state's rolling 7-day average, which is 4.7% on Tuesday. There were 36 new coronavirus-related hospitalizations. The current number of people hospitalized for COVID-19 in Connecticut is 584, the highest number since late May. Wear your mask, people. Stay 6 feet apart, and so we can defeat this virus. We shall be back coming up. My exclusive interview with Reverend A.J. Johnson, a community activist and a pastor of Urban Hope Refuge Church here in Connecticut. That's right after this. Stick around. Shemai Cook, head journalist at Bloomfield High School. I am proud to report all of the hard-hitting news at Bloomfield High, from weather, girls basketball, boys basketball, and one-on-one interviews. My job is hard but very, very simple, to report all of the hard-hitting facts around the nation, the world, in at Bloomfield High. This is BHS News with Shemai Cook, because the action never stops. Our first guest is a community organizer, entrepreneur, and reverend of Urban Hope Refuge Church in Hartford, Connecticut, and president of Delta Pi Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Please welcome Reverend A.J. Johnson. Hello, Reverend A.J.
Hello, thank you so much, man. That was one of the greatest introductions I've ever had in my life, man. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So we had an election, which presidential election was Joe Biden won, and the turnout was pretty big for the city of Hartford, especially for young first time voters, especially for Black youth voters. How does that make you feel seeing Black youth going out to the polls, especially the Black community?
Shemai, thank you so much. That's an awesome question. It felt great to see so many young voters go to the polls last week. It was because of those young voters that we delivered one of the most historical elections in my generation and probably your generation.
Yeah.
Because this was an election not just about policy, but this election was about the moral heart of this country. This election was about race, in a lot of different ways. So I want to shout out to the 18-year-olds who went and voted for the first time. It was energetic and it was Obama type numbers out at the polling places in Hartford.
Yeah, yeah. And you spoke to Channel 8 WTNH and said, quote, that you and 40 other pastors plan to lobby Governor Lamont to make racism a public health emergency. So how's that working out? And why should racism be a public health, considered as a public health emergency?
Well, I mean, this is a lot of work. And quite frankly, I'm going to need those that are watching, the students in your school. I'm going to need your help. We have not gotten the governor's attention. We sent him a letter on June 15th after post the George Floyd situation,
Actually,
requesting
Juneteenth.
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I was actually with the governor that day covering another thing in my town. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so we sent the email to him and all of the legislators in the state of Connecticut, uh, asking that they declare racism a public health crisis in Connecticut. Connecticut is a very interesting place just because we don't have police officers that are uh, putting their knee on someone's neck and killing them for the world to see. We still experience racism in a lot of different forms. We experience racism in education. We experience racism in how Connecticut is segregated, how people of color can't move to certain suburban spaces. There's no affordable housing. We experience racism, obviously, in economics and how the wealth gap is in Connecticut. So this is a problem, although it may not be a national problem where the world will see it. For those people of color that live in Connecticut experience racism in a lot of different ways, and it needs to be addressed.
You haven't been a community organizer for a while in the city of Hartford. You help minimum wage go up. You help for, especially for fast food workers, McDonald's and stuff. You were on the streets protesting for those workers. But this summer it was Black Lives Matter. How do you think Hartford and Connecticut was affected by Black Lives Matter this summer?
Oh yeah, no doubt. But let me finish what I was saying regarding your question that you previously asked. The question I wanted to make known is how I need your help. I need your help by reaching out to the governor. I need the students in your school who feel that racism is a thing to reach out to the governor and let him know that we have to declare racism a public health crisis. You asked a question regarding the Black Lives Matter. How has that made a difference? I mean, Black Lives Matter is kind of like, the new SNCC. Is kind of like the new organizing efforts that we read about in history books. Black Lives Matter is what that is to young people today. And so it is encouraging to see young people go out and protest. It is encouraging to see young people and get in good trouble. But I will say that being someone who has been deeply involved in justice work since I was your age, one thing I remember being your age was I wanted things to happen quickly. I wanted change to happen like this. And as a 36-year-old man with 2 children, I understand that change takes a long time. Progress takes time, and that is something that we have to see through. So I'm encouraged by the young activists that were out in the street organizing people to come out for police accountability and a host of other issues. But I also know that it just can't be a flash in the pan thing. You have to stick with these issues and see them through. You have to see these issues through. They're not going to happen overnight. Things happen over time. And so as I am encouraged with the young Black Lives Matter activists, I also want to see them move from protests to real policy. And policy takes time. Policy is where you get the changes that you want to see so you don't have to continue being out on the street protesting. Policy will help change that.
For that full interview, there was much more we were talking about. Go to bhsnews.wexsite.com/Shamari Cook. Click more. It's a tab that's right after where it says BHS Sports segment with Devin, Oscar, Kale, and Mr. Ryan Costas. You're gonna click more, and it's gonna be you scroll down. You're gonna click sit down interviews. Sit down interviews, and his interview will be right there. So that full unedited interview. It's just so much more we were talking about. It's a great conversation. It might be the best conversation interview I had in my career. Thank you guys so much for watching. We shall see you tomorrow. It's a jam-packed show. We got the BHS Sports segment with Devin Asher-Kale and Mr. Ryan Costas, and an interview with Mr. State Rep Bobby Gibson. We're going to talk about his recent win and what he's planning on to make his district better. His 15th district. He's the winner of the 15th district that covers the town of Bloomfield and the town of Windsor. So come out, watch it tomorrow, same time, same place, because the action never stops. God bless everybody. Bye bye.